and aggressively, the coronavirus pandemic could be over by June.
June.
That's going to be a long couple of months, boy. I think there's some people who think they're like, we'll figure it out. A couple of weeks, everything be back to normal. By June, he said. Now, it's one guy, and he's envisioning a best-case scenario, which is probably not going to be the case. You know, we're already lagging behind everyone else. But better late than never. But by June, it's mid-March right now.
People are about to be so horned up. Everybody's going to be
People
like...
are always horned up.
It's going to be worse because you're not supposed to be in contact with anybody. And if people go into self-quarantine and it gets worse, come June when you're allowed to be out, come on.
All I keep reading about is how people just aren't having that much sex anymore. They're like, they're overtired and they're overworked and they're malnourished, not malnourished, but they don't take good care of themselves. And so it just trickle down is that, whether you're in college or you're supposed to be a horny high school kid or whether you're somebody, they're like, a lot of people just aren't banging.
Yeah, but
So how's this going to make it any different?
You're firmly in the camp of you don't want to do something until people tell you that you can't.
That's me. I'm a psychopath.
Well, I think a lot of people are like that. And right now the government's like, hey, no mouth kisses, all right? Listen, keep your tongues to yourself.
But that's not going to prohibit anybody from having sex.
I think it might.
There are plenty of people who would probably consider sex improved by no kissing. Right?
That's true.
That's just fat. Get to the meat.
But yeah, I mean, if your mouths aren't supposed to touch neither your bottom mouths.
Your bottom mouths?
What are you made of?
Stop touching bottom mouths. You hear that, lesbians? Get your bottom mouths away from each other.
Quit making out with those bottom
Knock it off. I did read that HIV drugs.
Kisser to yourself.
HIV drugs are being used as part of coronavirus treatment.
Dang.
So that's something.
Don't be using our drugs. We need those.
I have a theory as to why Poundcake's stroking out. Because he's holding his poop.
We talked about that.
I'm serious.
But this would have afflicted him for a long time.
That's why he's been messing up for his whole life.
Oh, you mean the whole time?
The whole time, that if he didn't have to hold his poop and concentrate so hard on that, he could focus his energy in other places, like reading.
I've gotten...
Like reading. It's like when Costanza stopped having sex and he became a genius because the part of his brain that was focused on sex was now used for more...
Yes.
Poundcake's go take a dump, then come back and be just like Cardi B after she gets done at work.
Dude, I'm serious.
I've gotten to the point now where I'm not focusing on holding it anymore. My body just knows to hold it.
I held it last segment and I couldn't think. And I walked to the bathroom and I said, I don't know how you do this all day. And I was like, actually, that's probably why.
And I said, I'm not the epitome of health. Like, I don't do it. Like, I do it, but like, not like.
But wouldn't you prefer to be the epitome of health?
No, I'm just saying, don't follow my example. Yes, I would like to be.
Well, no one's following your example when it comes to holding your poop in all day.
That's
long.
what I'm saying.
I mean,
those toxins I know methane's in cow poop. Is methane in human poop?
Probably.
Nitrous.
Yeah.
But I have pooped at
nitrogen, whatever. I don't know.
My morning job, we have a gym.
It all goes to your head.
Well, no, at my morning job, I go to the gym and we have a private bathroom in there. So
they close the gym here. That's gonna be closed too. At your morning job, they're gonna close the gym there.
Now we own that gym.
Doesn't matter. They're gonna close it because of all the COVID-19 stuff.
Nah. And if
they close the gym here, we got the email this morning.
Well,
I can't go in there anymore.
We're just gonna have to get prison ripped at home.
Raped?
Yep. Prison ripped.
Oh.
Push-ups, crunches. Well, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't that seem like that should be a little scientific? If he's got all those toxins in his body, that could affect his brain.
I think they would have to be. They would have to be in your body much longer than 24 hours.
It's all day long.
Yeah,
every
all
day.
day long. I poop in the morning.
He poops it in the morning and at night. He does it at home. He does it twice a day.
I actually do it sometimes 3 times because sometimes I might have some leftover from last night. Okay. So before I go to work, I poop and then
I don't think it's the toxins in the body, but I think there is a level of concentration that probably it's on a day-to-day basis where
stressing you out, make you tired.
Listen, listen. You may have an inkling of something there, but you're giving him way too much. You are putting way too many eggs in the not pooping basket if you think that when he starts on a regular poop schedule, he's somehow going to become Albert Einstein.
No, he's not going to become Albert Einstein, but he's not going to have that meltdown like he did yesterday, where he went all.
He just said he doesn't even think about it. He just said it's second nature, and so I don't know that.
But
that's...
his brain is actively thinking about it when he's not, which is why you can't focus on words.
I don't think that's it.
I think it is.
No.
Any
Check
guess is as good as the
psychology.com.
other. I don't know.
We just gotta get him to poop.
I just got
we
off
tried this
blood.org.
already.
Now you want me to get on psychology.com?
We did this for my polar blast. Like, it wasn't effective. I didn't come out of there being, like, a scientist, so why would
I
it
didn't
make
say you're
any
going to be a
difference?
scientist.
Yeah, but you also only got like a little sliver of poop out.
My body was holding it back because it knew I didn't want to poop.
You got there, but there's also psychological issues here.
That's what I'm saying. That his
because-
brain is being used in other ways.
Okay. Then that's fine.
Well, then I'll let him figure that out.
That's my theory.
I will go
Let
to the
him figure
doctor,
that
and
out.
if they tell me,
Your
listen.
thoughts are constipated.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Your brain is constipated. If methane can put holes in the ozone layer, you don't think it affects his brain?
I don't
know.
fart
I'm not
either.
concerned
I
about
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't ask that much of him, so I'm not. If I asked more of him, I would be more concerned.
Well,
but I
while we're
don't.
on the subject of this, you remember the movie Demolition Man, right?
I do.
Yes. There's memes going
Wesley
around.
Snipes, Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone.
In that movie, they didn't high five. They just pretended to. They would mime it. You
Right.
weren't supposed to touch anybody, so you wouldn't spread disease. So memes like that are going around right now. And then they talk about the 3 seashells. And they make a joke in the movie about how Sylvester Stallone, because he's from the past, doesn't understand how the 3 seashells work.
Instead of toilet paper.
Right. So I did a little digging last night to try and find out if there's any actual science behind the 3 seashells.
I don't know what the 3
I
seashells
thought that was
is.
just made up.
Well, it was made up.
Yeah.
But like I wanted to see what people's theories
You
were.
mean, what is it based in anything real?
Right. Well, I just want to see what people's theories were of how they would function if they actually were a thing.
Okay.
And so there is one where in an interview, Sylvester Stallone said that the seashells were like to be used like chopsticks, where you use 2 of them
God, to grab it out of you?
to grab it out of you, and then the third one to clean the rest off. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a good method. But then there's another guy who applies all this sonic science to vibrations that you like through sound and hertz and all this stuff to hold the seashells on the side of your body, so while you're pooping it's shaking it out of you, and that was very interesting. So
I don't know what we're talking. What?
You would need to have so much sonic energy moving through those 2 things to create a vibration that would pull a turtle head out of your shell.
I know,
Yeah. All
but
right.
that's the best theory that I could find.
So we need to get him seashells?
Yeah,
Okay. Like
Well,
a conch shell?
Sounds like you really went down a rabbit hole.
I
here.
really did.
Yeah.
I have the whole explanation screenshotted over. It's long too. It's like, I don't know, a lot of words.
You might have seen everybody making the same joke on Twitter today. Well, if anybody can kill the coronavirus, it's O.J. Simpson. He shared a video where he won some money playing golf, and if you count it out in the video, it looks like it's only about $60 or $70. And he's wearing a mask and gloves and spraying it with a disinfectant. And people have mentioned you'll notice more and more restaurants and establishments that are only going to take credit cards. They're not going to take money,
dirty cash.
currency,
I was thinking about
dirty
that.
coins, dirty paper.
My
They're going to
mom-
have people swiping their cards.
My mom literally was talking about this last night because I called her hysterically about the whole my blackout last night, and she was like, you know what I think this whole coronavirus thing is the stem from? I'm like, what? She's like, money. She was like, everyone's gonna empty out the banks and have cash. She was like, that's gonna have disease and everyone's gonna get sick that way because no one's gonna let go of their money. Do you want to be healthy or do you want your money?
There's always germs on money.
Yeah, and she was like, it comes from China. What country has the biggest bank? China. She was like, it's gonna be in the money, and she's like, and that's gonna get
I think now your
everybody.
mom's going down a rabbit hole. But I mean, I think the fundamental science of money being dirty because it changes hands so often is good, sound. But yeah, OJ is, if you saw the video, he's wearing a mask and gloves and spraying his money.
Did the gloves fit?
What are you doing?
They do. People were commenting on, hey, you finally got a pair that fit. Well done.
Well, you know, they're canceling all these crowds at games, and they tell people not to shake hands and to disinfect surfaces. Well, this is what I won at the golf course today.
So, what?
How do I know how many hands have touched this money?
Guy still can't do a line reading to save his goddamn life, by the way. This guy was in movies, and he still doesn't know how to...
Well, what I want to know is, I don't know where this money came from. If everyone's disinfecting their money,
By the way, the Greater Cleveland Food Bank has information out there for you if you want to help. A lot of people's lives and jobs and routines are going to be disrupted in a variety of ways. But with kids being taken out of school for weeks, that throws a lot of things into disarray. So greaterclevelandfoodbank.org/give. If you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, I think that's probably a catch-all for people who, I mentioned it earlier in the show. I'm like, hit up the Greater Cleveland Food Bank if you want to help out. So the official link for you to do that, greaterclevelandfoodbank.org/give. If you want to look into that.
They do great
and
work
I suggest you do. They do phenomenal work over there.
I have some good friends over there.
And it's also one of those organizations that people only think of in times of crisis. But there are always people who need help from the food bank year-round, irrespective of the season, or even when there isn't a coronavirus going around.
I gave them 10 pounds of Girl Scout cookies last year.
Oh, Girl Scouts, boy. The Girl Scouts, by the way, because it's cookie season right now?
Well, because they were in my trunk for 8 months.
Right, but the Girl Scouts must be jumping up and down right now, by the way, because they don't have to stand out in front of phone stores and banks with the card table set up.
They can't.
They can't, so they're like online orders, which is what they, I think, ideally want people to do anyway.
And you know you're going to need it because you're going to be inside with the munchies.
Man, Samoas. Oh, they're so good.
Those lemon bars. Hey, can you pick your sister or your
No, we didn't
niece?
do that this year.
You can go online and do it. I haven't purchased Girl Scout cookies in quite a while.
You ate some last year when we had them in here.
Ate one.
One?
I haven't bought any in a while.
Oh.
What I'm saying is this year, I'll buy them.
Do it. You don't have to look at anybody. You just click, click.
I don't have to. I had an appearance last year somewhere, and there was a Girl Scout table out in front, which is fine. It just kind of took me aback a little bit.
Like a Circle K or something?
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't even that. It was kind of, I was surprised to see it there. So they must have known somebody who run the joint. But those girls don't want to stand out there. You know? That's part of it, though. Part of the training for Girl Scouts is learning to talk to people and to sell the cookies.
Yeah, but it's like the business aspect of it, making change.
Right, speaking a clear voice. But they don't want to do that. Nobody, and the parents certainly don't want to.
Nope.
It's Saturday, and you see the kids like, we got to go set that card table up. The parents like, God damn it, we got the cookies today.
Yeah, but the cookies still sell themselves. There's nothing worse than trying to sell popcorn. Those tins of popcorn as a Boy Scout.
Yeah, we had to sell popcorn.
Yeah, like, hey, you want to buy some tins of popcorn? And they're like, what are you doing here?
I'll mess up some caramel corn. I really will. Or cheddar, the cheddar popcorn.
Listen, it's
the caramel
okay.
Corn. One.
Right, but at least tins have some reuse, right? Because I'm old, we had to walk around selling the boxes of microwave popcorn in the bags.
No, you didn't.
We didn't even have the tins.
Was that okay? Were you a Boy Scout or were you just trying to make extra money? Act 2, butter flavored.
Act 2. I would steal from the local Blockbusters.
Orville Redenbacher over here.
Yep, I would mark them up 400%. So the Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, or GSNEO, they have canceled all their cookie booths through the end of the month. But you can still get them online.
It's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it. The confirmed cases, by the way, of COVID-19 in Ohio has risen to 13. There are 159 people.
13 on Friday the 13th.
Well, it was 5 yesterday. They found 8 today?
Well, that seems light to me. Yeah. I mean, this thing is supposed to exponentially... Like, if you look at the chart of Italy, like, one day they had 2 people. 3 days later, they had 15 people. By the end of a week, they had like 12,000. And these are just, cases. People who have it. Not necessarily people who are in the ICU.
And there's still people waiting on results. There's people that haven't even been tested yet because, obviously, we're not ready to test the amount of people that actually have it.
I read a thing online today, and it was a girl who had it in Seattle. She was like in her mid to late 30s. She was one of the first cases in Seattle. Yeah. She got it at a party, and then she found out that a couple other people had it from the party, and she said that it was, I'm a healthy 36-year-old woman, it really was just a horrible flu. She's like, all the stomach issues, the fever. Her fever was only like 101. It wasn't anything crazy.
Worse than that for my swine flu.
Right. And so reading things like firsthand accounts of someone who's had it, it makes me feel a lot better when they're like, yeah, if all these people get it, I mean, I don't know.
And it's the people that have the conditions
Right,
that
I know that.
are in the most danger.
Like she was saying, like, I don't know why people are stealing toilet paper. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you wouldn't hoard toilet paper, you know, in any other kind of a situation.
Because you have to stay in your house, so people just want to be stocked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like nobody understands the toilet paper thing.
It doesn't. It really doesn't make sense to me.
It's weird. I thought it was funny, too. I played the clip of LeBron. Talk about a rise in cases, right? LeBron's reaction to playing in front of no crowds kind of followed the same path. Whereas Monday, he said, I ain't playing games in front of no crowds. And then somebody had to talk with him. And by Wednesday, he's like, yeah, okay, I'll play games in front of crowds. I guess that conversation involved him being reminded of the collective bargaining agreement, I assume.
What is that?
Well, that between the league and the players, they did this a few years ago. This like the contract between the league and the players. And part of that is that they can reduce a player's salary for every game that is canceled. So if they don't play, they're not getting paid. Now, if you're LeBron and you're making $4 billion a year, who cares? They can reduce every player's salary by 1% for every canceled game. If they're postponed, it's different. If they're canceled, 1%. So there was a game last night, Lakers-Rockets, and that didn't happen. So LeBron would lose $404,000. Now, if you're LeBron, that's walking around money. But there are rookies who make like $10,000 a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those guys, you're 25, you're new to the league, they just popped you up, and now you're making like $9,700 a game. You're not going to be in such great shape.
Right.
But even LeBron, he's kind of like, oh, I'm going to lose almost $500,000 per game? Yeah, okay, I'll play in front of him. Now they don't have a choice, obviously.
Right. Well, can they still do that while they're while the season is postponed?
I assume there are conversations
Probably
being
not,
had,
right?
but I don't know.
Because it's not anybody's control.
Well, nobody's dealt with this before.
Right.
They plan for things like, if there's
Lockouts or something
lockouts.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So I don't know.
This is they're just trying to figure everything out. They don't really know, but they're going to try. I read today, David Silver sent out an email saying that they're going to try and start the season back up in 30 days. So the NBA will have the rest of the season, but they'll probably play fewer games.
And by that time,
gonna say,
more
does this-
players will have it.
Yeah.
Does this mean that the playoffs and everything will go into
July.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think what they should do
The worst part.
is start a coronavirus league. All the guys who have it play against each other.
And here's one thing
Monetize that.
the Corona League they should do is they have this bowl series about the last season that the Bulls won a championship. And they're teasing this, or maybe it wasn't that season. It was like the season that they won 72 games. They have this documentary that's coming out later in the year, and they're going to start playing it during the finals.
Right.
So what they should do to get people watching on ESPN is start releasing that now. Because it's like a 10-part series. And
While they have nothing else going on.
Yeah. That's like, why not, right?
Sure. All right. Well, there you go.
Excited for that.
Was that the 95 Bulls?
96.
96. Yeah. All right, let me break here. The Bill Squire Friday Get Down, that remains unchanged. And that's when you'll know when the weekend is officially underway. That is brought to you by Cleveland Whiskey. If you want to join us, 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007, 35192. Shoot me a text.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.